What's up everyone, it's Mr. Lang. In this video I'm going to teach you how to rearrange formulas, and you don't need a calculator for this one, you just need your notebook and a pencil. So let's get started. Alright, directions, solve for x, and I'm giving you an easy problem here, one you could probably do in your sleep or pretty close to it. 2x minus 3 is equal to 11. Well, remember when we don't even really think about this that much anymore because we've been solving equations for so long, but it's all about inverse functions, doing the opposite. So we got this minus 3 here, while the opposite of subtracting 3 is adding 3. And we do it to both sides. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So that leaves us with 2x is equal to 11 plus 3 is 14. Now 2x really means x times 2. Well, the opposite of timesing by 2 is dividing by 2. All about these inverse functions. Alright, the 2's cancel out, so we're left with just x is equal to 14 divided by 2 is 7. Easy. Alright, so let's go over here. This one we're actually going to rearrange a formula. This is ax minus b is equal to c. And it's actually the same exact thing as this. It's just got letters. But remember, in algebra, these aren't letters. These are variables. And variables are placeholders for numbers. So anything we can do with these constants, 11s, 3s, 2s, we can do with these a's, b's, and c's. So same steps. This is a minus b. We're going to add b. So this leaves us with ax equals, c and b are not like terms, so we have to just leave it as c plus b. Now this is x times a, so we're going to divide by a. And you could do this in a couple different ways. I'm going to show you this one way. I'm going to divide everything by the a. Alright, every term by the a. Well, the a's cancel out here, and we're left with x is equal to c over a plus b over a. Now let me just kind of give you an alternate path we could have gone here. I'll switch to red pen just so you can see. From this step here, where we had ax equals c plus b, I could have just, when I divided by a here, I could have divided the whole thing by a here, like that. And I would have got x is equal to c plus b over a. Now, both of these are the same thing. Alright, so you could have your answer like this, perfectly fine. You could have your answer like this. They mean the exact same thing. So when you rearrange formulas, as long as you have that variable isolated, you're probably good. Alright, what I'm going to do is take you through 4 examples, and that's it. So example number 1, solve for y. And we've got 6x minus y is equal to 15. Alright, so we want to isolate the y. You might remember this type of problem when you were graphing lines last year and you had to put things in y equals mx plus b form. Same thing here. Alright, we want to isolate the y. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. It's a positive 6x, that's why I'm subtracting the 6x. And that leaves us, since this is a minus y, we're left with a negative y, equals, and we can just leave it in this form, 15 minus 6x. And we almost have the y isolated. It's a negative y. Well, remember that that negative y means negative 1y. So I'm going to divide everything by a negative 1. So this ends up being a positive y. 15 divided by negative 1 is a negative 15. Negative 6x divided by a negative 1 gives you a positive 6x. So you could write it like that. You might be more comfortable with the x's first. You could rearrange it to be, since this is a positive 6x and a negative 15. Either one's fine. All right, I don't care. At this point, I don't care. When we get into graphing lines, we'll want to do it this way. Example number 2. Solve for x this time. We've got nx over 4 is equal to d. Well, there's a couple different ways we could do this. One way that might be easy is something we just learned, which is cross multiplication. If we put d over 1 here, we can cross multiply. All right, so let's do that. So nx times the 1 is equal to nx. 4 times d is 4d. And remember, we're trying to get the x alone. And nx means x times n, so I will divide by n. The n's cancel out on this side. This can't be simplified anymore. So what we're left with is x is equal to 4d divided by n. There are other ways you could have done this, but I like this way. Nice and easy. All right, 2 more. Example 3, solve for L. You might recognize this as the perimeter formula for a rectangle. It's 2L plus 2W is equal to P. And this time we want to get the L alone. Well, before we divide by 2, we need to get rid of this 2W. So this is plus 2W. I will subtract 2W. Which leaves me with 2L on the left equals, and again, we don't have like terms. P minus 2W is just P minus 2W. And I'm going to now, it's divide both sides by 2 to get the L alone. And I'm going to do it this way. Kind of similar to the first problem. I could have done it the other way too, but anyway. 2's cancel out, which leaves me with L is equal to P over 2 minus the 2's cancel out here. So just W. This is one way you could leave your answer. All right, last example. This time we're solving for h. And we've got v is equal to pi r squared h. This looks pretty nasty, but actually this is the easiest one we've done so far. We want the h alone. And if you look at what's happening here, the h is being multiplied by the r squared and the pi. So what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So what we're going to do is divide this side and the other side too by everything that's not the h. So I'm going to divide by pi and I'm going to divide by the r squared. Whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other. Pi's cancel out. The r squareds cancel out, leaving me with just the h on the right. We have no like terms, nothing that can cancel, so this is it. It's just v divided by pi r squared. And that's your answer. So it's actually least number of steps out of all of them. So let's get to the SIA questions. I've got 6 SIA questions. So just like we did in class, what I want you to do is pause the video here, try these 6 problems, log on to Schoology, and enter them in at the assignment section. Thanks for listening.